Please welcome to the stage Bobby Flay and Maggie McGrath, staff writer, Forbes Media.
So you opened Mesa Grill in 1991, and your empire has only grown in the years since. Can you talk about your guiding principle for starting a new project, opening a new restaurant, writing a new book?
Yeah, I always find that when I'm trying to, and I think this is something that would make sense to talk about here, because there's so many entrepreneurial people here, so many people with creative ideas. And I learn through life. I learn through watching what's right out in front of me. And I get asked a lot about what's the next trend in food, what's next? I have no idea. And whenever I guess, I'm 1,000% wrong every time, because it's really hard to predict those things. And frankly, even if you can predict them, I never want to be the person trailing the blaze, or blazing the trail. Exactly. But either one of those things. I don't ever want to be the first one down the lane. I want to watch the person who thought it was a good idea and see if it was a good idea. And if it was a good idea, hopefully I can do it a little bit different. I get inspired by travel. I get inspired by meeting people. I get inspired by eating things, by talking to people, watching other people cook, eating in other people's restaurants, traveling to different countries. When I take a trip, I'm inspired to open a restaurant from that particular place. It doesn't always last in terms of the thrust of my idea, but every once in a while something sticks and it happens, and that's how I start to actually create the next thing I'm going to do.
So I had a question in here about how consumer tastes being fickle and how that affects your business. But given how you just described that, I'm wondering if it's the reverse. I'm wondering if you're the one affecting consumer taste, you and your fellow celebrity chefs, and if that in turn is driving industry change.
Well, I think what it does is it opens people's eyes up. I mean, the key to the whole thing is that, we were talking this morning about vegetarianism, which is a very commonplace subject now. When I first started cooking, if a vegetarian came into my restaurant in 1991, first of all, there would be no vegetarian dishes on the menu besides a salad. But if they wanted a vegetarian entree, you'd be like, no problem. Steam her some spinach, and that's going to be it. Be steamed spinach on a plate, and be like, hope you liked it. Now, I have a restaurant called Gatto that I opened 2 years ago, all right? Now, I will tell you that when I designed the menu at Gatto, it's a Mediterranean restaurant, so I got great inspiration from places like Spain, the south of France, Italy, Morocco, Greece. Basically, every country that is glued together with olive oil in Europe, I took inspiration from. And it creates this really healthful, flavorful, built on olive oil cuisine. Because of that, it's driven towards a much more healthful diet. But I don't think of it that way. I think of it from a flavor standpoint and what's going to work together. The #1 entree every single night since the day we opened the restaurant 2.5 years ago, undefeated, is a vegetarian paella. It's got wild mushrooms, kale, and crispy artichokes. And it's basically the answer to the call of, I only want to eat vegetables, but I want it to be delicious and interesting, and I want it to taste as good as that pork chop. And so that's what chefs are forced to do, is to become creative. The restaurant business is a long-term thing. I want restaurants to be open for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. I don't care what happens in the first 6 weeks. And a lot of people make that mistake, and I think that's important for any kind of business. Go slow, because 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years goes really fast, and then you're going to look back on those first few weeks when you went slow and you did things the right way, and you were able to make sure that everybody in that restaurant left happy, everybody, as opposed to people going out. So many restaurants will open and they're like, we're going to be the hottest restaurant in New York. Great. So the first night they do 260 covers. People wait 3 hours for their food. They never get sat. They get the wrong, the food comes out cold. It comes out overcooked. They get the wrong dishes. Do you think they're not going to tell every single person they know about their experience? 100%. And now they're going to tell them not only by face to face, they're going to tell the whole world.
Yelp, Instagram, Twitter.
You got it.